How's it going, boys? Welcome back to a new JO3 Afterdark video? That's weird. Let's talk about After Dark. I know, like a week or two ago, I put up that, hey, After Dark's coming to an end. It's not getting the views. People don't want to watch, which is fine. I just don't think it was necessarily the most interesting product, and therefore it showed, and that's fair. But I still want to try it for at least another episode or two while changing things up. At the time of me recording this, there's still a Twitter poll going on. It might be over. I think it should be over. Maybe it has another day on it by the time this goes up. If it is still going, it'll be linked in the description if you want to vote on like a major change I can make that would make people more interested in watching week to week. Right now, going live is winning, making After Dark a live show, which is something I'm not against per se. I don't know if I could promise every episode being live though, which is my one thing. Especially if there's a guest and I have to work on their times, obviously. But I could try, you know. It's not a guarantee whatever wins that poll, by the way, but it will be taken into account. Should After Dark continue, which isn't 100% guaranteed. It's not 100% guaranteed. That's for sure. But, should it continue? Or more so, why is it continuing possibly JO3? Why is this happening instead of it just ending? I want to use this platform to have discussions that you can't really have anywhere else. I guess like a live stream, so I guess it would be fitting. But I've had like video game discussions, like in depth about video games. I don't know why this one specifically. I'd probably get my boy Harpo on because I think he's the next biggest Fallout fan that I know per like off the top of my head. I want to discuss like Fallout 4 and its shortcomings, since Fallout 5 is probably still like 10 years away minimum. So it'd be cool, and we don't talk about 76. We could, but I want to do more discussions like that, focused around like a game or a specific subject with a guest. I think that is more of a direction I kind of want to take the podcast for the most part instead of just news, because there's sometimes just not a lot of news to talk about in the gaming sphere or the content sphere, which is what I tried to focus on before. So I think that's the direction I'm gonna take should After Dark continue, and I'm leaning heavily in that direction. This poll is just going to help me decide what I want to change. Which, I mean, if it's the subject matter needs changing, which is an option on there, well, I guess it is. Kind of. It's shifting a little bit. As for more guests, I'm going to honestly say, I'm if I don't get a guest for an episode, I might not even do it that week. Because it seems like all the episodes with guests were the most popular. Of course, they promote it because they're on it, but more so the fact that I think people just enjoy podcasts with more than one person, which makes sense. And I think those were the more interesting episodes in general as well. Obviously, they're longer as well, more discussion is had, opens the door for more things. So I think that's the direction I'm going to take After Dark. More guest discussions on games and stuff like that. I think that'll be more fun for everyone, and it may be more interesting for those at home. Not that there won't ever be an episode like there has been, in the past, like an interview type episode or a just covering some news. Those aren't specifically out of the picture, but I think this is a good direction to go, while remaining in the gaming space, sort of thing. So that's what's happening with the podcast. Specific plans for episodes, if this helps interest you or regain your interest. Like I said, one discussing Fall 4's sort of shortcomings and its positives, just the game in general. Possibly one just on the Fallout franchise, although I'm not very familiar with some of the early entries, obviously. So I don't know if that one would necessarily happen. One on like Skyrim, maybe some similar, or in just other genres. But I've been playing a lot of Bethesda games right now, so that's just on my mind. Something like Minecraft's obviously on the table. The Darwin Project, no, we've already done one on that. That was episode 3, I think. I think it was 3. So or 4, 3 or 4, whatever. It's been a minute. So, but I think that is the direction I want to go with it. And of course, if you have suggestions for games or things we could discuss, and of course, if I've played them and have information on them and knowledge on them, I am down. Something like Sea of Thieves maybe is something as well, because that game has had a very interesting history. And something like Red Dead would be cool, or GTA. Just games off the top of my head, especially Red Dead. That'd be a fun discussion right now, and how Rockstar's completely screwed up Red Dead Online. There's no other way to put it. But that's all I'd say on that. We're gonna do, because After Dark is definitely changing at least somewhat. Some people love some questions, which I sorted through, picked out the ones that I would actually be okay answering, because some of them are just memes. If they aren't memes and they're appropriate, I will answer them. And I think I'll try to do this somewhat, especially if it's live. It'll be pretty easy. But I want to answer all the questions that have been asked. A lot of them are content really, which I kind of was shocked by. A lot of them are fitting for the time I asked for questions. So, and some people have asked some since, it looks like. I don't know. Let's get into it though. I think there's 8 I specifically was able to pick out. The first one, if you could collab with one creator, who would it be? If I could collab with a creator right now, let's see. That's actually kind of a tough one because there's not a lot of creators off the top of my head I'd like say would be the one I want to collab with. I guess I could go with hmm, I don't know. He checked out in the past and I still enjoy his content. He's sort of moved to a gaming channel now. His name was Combat Wombat. His new channel is Click Taser though. It's like he switched from commentary to gaming. I've been watching him for a couple of years. He reviewed like the Appalachian Avengers channel back when that was kind of going. He was the reason we started actually editing. So if it wasn't for him, I may have never actually learned how to edit, or at least I would have started way later. So it'd be cool to do like a video with him. That'd be cool, I guess. Why not? There's a little JO3 history too in it for you. Next up, would you rather be a YouTube partner or a Twitch partner? YouTube partner any day of the week. As many issues as YouTube has, I've always seen myself more as like a YouTuber than a streamer. I much rather, I much more enjoy recording and putting together the best moments with edits and funny like bits in them and stuff, funny effects, over streaming for multiple hours, having to entertain and talk the entire time. It's way more draining for me, honestly. I love editing. It's a lot of fun. I've been trying to improve at least slightly every video. That's kind of a new goal of mine, even if it slows down uploads a little bit. Especially once I go back into having classes full time. I will. It might slow down, like I said, slow videos down a little bit, but I want to like try to slowly improve in that regard on the main channel, which the main channel is my only real focus right now. So After Dark going live would be cool. Because other than that, I'm really only doing JO3 and Streamers for Mental Health channels, which we'll get to Streamers for Mental Health in a bit, because there's a question about it. I think I answered that pretty well. YouTube partner. I'd rather be monetized on YouTube and be able to be a YouTuber, which I've been wanting to do since I was like 10, I think. I think it was the first time, like when I started watching YouTube way back in the day before I had an account or anything. I would get home, turn on my Xbox. It had like the 100 like most sub channels, so I'd watch Smosh, PewDiePie, Yogscast at the time. Maybe I was a bit older. Maybe I was like 11, something like that, or 11 or 12. I think I was in elementary school still. So and it had like so PewDiePie, Jack, Mark, all the people that were popping at the time. Pretty much, I watched most of them. Like every day. So and since then I wanted to be a YouTuber. Like there was no doubt in my mind every time I want to do something with social media or specifically be a YouTuber. It's the thing I really want to do. Or I guess video editing is growing out of it as well. So something with social media, something with YouTube or editing, something in that vein. So YouTube partner would be like the dream. I mean, my goal on Twitter was 1,000 subs. I don't think we're hitting it at that point or at this point. So I'm kind of shooting more for at least 500 by the end of the year. So who knows? What are my plans for life? That's a deep question. Um, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. 3 years ago, I could have told you, oh, probably 3 years ago, I'd probably do something with like the three career paths were of course YouTuber, social media like manager or something in that vein, or a software engineer. Those were the three I was interested in at the time. And I'm still interested in software engineering. It's just the way it's taught, at least at my college. I was a computer science major, originally. If you go back far enough, you can see that time. It was only a year ago. Then after my first semester, I said this. I realized this wasn't really for me. At least like learning it through college. So I switched majors to a business major, which is more broad, but I think will get me a job maybe a bit quicker. And specifically, I'm going into marketing, so that could also prove useful with content creation. So I made sure to choose something that still kind of fit with what I want to do. But I originally wanted to be a software engineer. It seems it'd be so cool to create something, whether it's a game or app or whatever, through coding. It'd just be cool. But it wasn't really for me, at least in the college route, I guess. I know there's like coding boot camps or whatever, but that's fine. Um, thoughts on trying to be? Oh, this is gonna be a fun question that might get me in trouble. Thoughts on trying to be, in quotes, safe and inclusive over just producing what you want. Um, assuming what you mean by that is just being like super PC, trying to avoid the Twitter mob, and just like trying to avoid walking on eggshells all the time, and it just ruining your content. Like a lot of Minecraft creators, the Dream Team, every big Minecraft creator, pretty much 90% of them, you know, that's the one closest to me. Figured it'd be yeah, a fun little call there. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to, not alienate anyone at face value. Like, you want to be able to let anyone watch your content. Inherently, anyone could watch my content. But the difference, I think, is I don't let it, trying to allow anyone be able to watch my content and anyone be able to feel safe there. Because you're not supposed. I'm not trying to make you or let you be necessarily safe while watching my videos. If I'm trying to entertain, I think there can be a slight difference there. You can be safe and entertain, that's fine too. But my goal isn't to make you feel safe or be some comfort creator. I've never understood that concept really. Like I I try to. It's been more so comfort streamer. I can kind of get being down on watching a certain YouTuber and cheering up. I just don't get it with streamers and like the way that term has evolved. I don't understand that. But I guess I've always been more of a YouTube kind of guy, so maybe that's why. But I would say it's not necessarily harmful to, let everyone be able to watch your videos. If you can take jokes, understand I roast everyone equally and make fun of everyone equally, sometimes push the batteries a little bit of what I can say on YouTube. Um, and that everything at the end of the day is just a joke, then you'll be able to watch my stuff and be entertained. So anyone who can do that can. I'm not gonna go out of my way though to censor myself and my content and make it awful just to be safe and inclusive for everyone. That's kind of my thoughts on it, I guess. I don't watch anyone that tries to be safe and inclusive constantly. If your content entertains me, that is all I really care about. I don't care about feeling safe or included. uh, Cue the Twitter mob saying, "Oh, you're a straight white male," yada yada bullshit. The usual. Twitter is awful, kids. Delete Twitter if you really really um you know want to be on social media. Don't be on Twitter. Next question. I heard you're in college. What are your plans after graduating? I have had a couple, I guess. So obviously, if YouTube, depending on where it's at, which who knows on that. I guess we'll get the easy one out of the way. So right now I'm enrolled in a community college. They're trying to not become basically not a community college, but they're still going through that process. Like they're trying to become a full-fledged college, but for now they're still classified as a community college. I'm enrolled there for an associate's degree in business. So I do plan after that. I would get that next spring, so a little less than a year from now, because I've been there a year already. I will get that next spring, and ideally, I think I'm still gonna pursue a bachelor in marketing. That's kind of what I want to go into. I don't know where I'm gonna go. There's multiple state colleges that every year kind of want me and I'll make some offer. So I don't know for sure on where I'll go for that for the bachelor. I still plan on doing that as of now. In terms of like, I don't know, I've had ideas as well, not necessarily for YouTube, just in general, like where I want to live, and where I want to try to make a life, and whether I want to like stay like where I've grown up or move. I've had ideas of moving to a few different states. Off the top of my head, aside from staying here, would be like maybe North Carolina, just because you're close to the beach. But it's also I live in like on mainland, not like on the islands. This would be great to visit and be closer to, but I wouldn't live there. It's awful, awful idea. But I would maybe North Carolina's a nice state. South Carolina isn't really much word like they're around the same for me in terms of places I'd want to live. I'd be okay if either Carolina, um, Florida would be cool, but it's just a little too hot there for me. Texas, I'm just kind of far from my family, and I've always loved the East Coast, so I've always want to stay generally either come directly on or like near the East Coast because it's where all my family is. So I would say, in terms of like if I had to rank those in terms of like staying here, the Carolinas, Florida, Texas, it'd probably go from top to bottom like Texas, South Carolina, staying here. Hmm, those two might flip. We'll keep it. And then like Florida and then probably North Carolina. North Carolina's a really nice state. I'd love to live there. It's kind of like peaceful. There's a lot of older people there, so you just kind of vibe, you know. I guess. And there's enough work there to where I could find a decent enough job, comfortable enough job, and generally be fine. Well, unless, the world continues to collapse, then, who knows? Who knows where I'll be tomorrow. But, ideally, after schooling, I would like to live probably there. Or Florida would be my top two, I think. Florida's just really hot. Just really hot. The further south you go, you're going to get that, though. Um, Let me see. Is there anything I can answer for that? I don't know. Just look for a job in marketing. My plans after graduating. Sure, that works. I guess if YouTube isn't, the idea for me, I think, is if I'm monetized on YouTube, maybe just get a part-time job and see where it goes. Might take that route, at least for a little bit, and until I find like a job I'm more suitable for, and then what is what is. But if I'm not like monetized by the time I get my bachelor, be honest, that's probably I probably will have quit because I want to make it. Everyone wants to be a YouTuber, but at that point, I just kind of gotta face facts. If I'm not at least close, that hey, you gotta get a job, brother. You gotta continue down the career path the special piece of paper gives you, and then maybe in the future, if you can do YouTube part time and it eventually starts doing a little, you start getting a little bit from it, then maybe you can think about it, which is route a lot of YouTubers get to go if they don't like pop off young. So you know, that's probably what's gonna happen. Um, that's probably the route that's gonna happen. I don't know. I've talked to a couple buddies. Like, if I don't know, it's kind of hard to think ahead right now with how fucked the world is. uh, and how unaffordable everything is. So, who knows? Next question. Oh, this was probably asked a while ago. What happened with Jack Stagger and the Darwin Project? There isn't much to update on. He blocked me on everything. Um, I think this was before my last video on it, or my only video actually, I think, for that matter. Uh, he questioned the authenticity of my charity, which just raised $2,500 for charity. 3,000 total between last year and this year. He questioned that. Darwin didn't do anything about it, which I'm against cancel culture, but like he's a partner creator. As a business, you don't want to be partnered with somebody who calls a charity fake that just raised $2,500 for mental health, the biggest issue in the United States right now. Mental health, at least for the youth, which is Jed Foundation. It was perfect to work with them because of that. There's not really an update. Harpo said he's gonna make a quitting Darwin Project video. I don't know if I fully believe him. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he can quit Darwin Project. That's a call out. We'll see if he does it or not. I'll hold him to it. You hold him to it too. We'll see if it ever comes out. But other than that, there's literally no update. Next question. We got two more left here. Any plans for future charity events? Yes, we're planning something for November, December time. We're not sure who we're gonna work with yet. There's a lot of details that are out right now. There's not much going on. We are going to get started on uploading on our YouTube channel. I have some ideas, something I want to record. I've kind of started scripting it out a little bit, just a little intro video, at least to get something out there. I will put the link in the description, but it might be a little bit before there's like actual content to watch on there. But we do want to get that started. The streams front off the YouTube channel. And yeah, we have an event planned. We plan to do a big event every summer, ideally. And we also want to set some other things up behind the scenes, and we're looking to expand our team. But other than that, in terms of events, we're looking for a November, December time, like a smaller event, just having some fun, playing some games for a cause. We're still figuring out what specific charity we want to work with. It's not gonna be Jed again. Jed's kind of been our great charity to work with, but we also want to try some other working with some other charities as well. So we'll figure that out though as time goes on. Final question. This is fun. This is a positive question to end on. Have you been out of the U.S.? Once, yes. Only once, though. Where would you want to travel outside of it? Um, I guess. I've been to the Bahamas. That's where I've been outside the U.S. So it leaves me a lot of like popular tourist destinations. If I had to do like a top three before I pick the one I'd want to travel to, Japan's definitely in there. I just want to experience the culture of Japan before I die. Before I kick the bucket in a video game, YouTube. Um, for sure. I want to go there at least once in my life. Uh, Maybe Italy. I mean, it's a popular one. I guess throw it in there. And I'd like to, uh, at least, hmm, I don't know on a third one. Like France is obviously one that a lot of people say, but I don't really like what France is doing. They're kind of being fucking stupid because they're France. I could say the UK, but I don't want to get shanked or be around people with bad teeth all the time. Canada has a dictator as a prime minister, so that's partially a joke. Um, I just like the memes that say he looks like Fidel Castro's son. It's just funny to me. Those are just funny, but I don't really care for Canada either. It just in general, I don't really care to go up there. Um, I don't really have a third right now. I don't know. I want to travel more in the U.S. I haven't gotten to that point in life where like I'm not one of those people that's traveled over the U.S. So there's still a lot of places in the U.S. I want to go. Like I haven't been to the Grand Canyon yet, or like Vegas, that area. I'd love to go there at least once. I haven't been to Texas. I had the opportunity to go a few years ago, but things came up and I couldn't go. Um, with some of the fam, so they went, which is cool. Um, Trying to think. I guess outside of the U.S., it'd be Japan. I'd love to go to Japan at least once in my life. Maybe say hi to PewDiePie while I'm there. um, As all the questions, there were some good questions in there, but I think that'll be it for this little mini podcast. I guess I might call like an After Dark short or something. Because it's like a podcast, just a lot shorter. This type of thing, I guess. Who knows what I'll do any more of these though. Thank you for watching if you did and listened all the way through. I don't know what's gonna happen with like Spotify if we go live because I don't really have the a way to stream on Spotify that I know of. But I guess they just go up afterwards on Spotify. I don't know. We'll figure that out. I don't even know what's gonna happen with this podcast or if it really does end up continuing. I'd like to because I like having like a platform to talk, even if it's just to myself and maybe a guest. I think that'd be cool. That's all. I'll stop rambling now. Subscribe, I guess. Share, sure. And peace.